This conference will now be recorded.
अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् रागादिरोगान् सततानुषक्तान् अशेषकाय प्रसृतान् अशेषान् औत्सुक्यमोहारदिदान् जघान यो पूर्ववैद्याय नमोऽस्तु तस्मै. So namaskaram to all of you, and we are once again continuing with our Dravadravya Vidnyaniya chapter. In our last session, we talked something about the Dhi and something about Takram as well. Takram, I think we had something else to say or to add on to the description of Takram, which we will see today. Takram Laghu Kashayamlam Deepanam Kabhavadajit. That is the properties of, these are the properties of Takram. Takram Laghu Kashayamlam Deepanam Kabhavadajit. There are some types of Takram given which can be seen in that footnote by Chakrapani Datta. Sasaram Nirjalam Gholam Takram Padajalanvidam Ardhodagam Udashvit Syad Madhidam Saravarjidam Gholam Pittani Laharam Takram Doshatrayavaham Udashvit Shleshmalam Jaiva Madhidam Kabhapittanut. So that sort of types are there. In the case of the Dhi, we saw some sort of differences in the preparation. Also that Ruksham, Sniktham type of preparations also we saw. Here also we find different types, which is, if these things are, I think, definitely going to make changes in the type of Takram that we are going to get, no doubt at all. These can be seen used as synonyms, but that is another issue. So this sort of very perfect separation cannot be seen in, especially in Ashtanga Hridayam. We don't find these sort of descriptions. In one specific area, we find something regarding the presence of Sneham that we will come to later. So for detailed descriptions, you can look at the footnote given as a quote from Chakrapani. Sasaram Nirjalam Gholam Takram Padajalanvidam. So Padajalanvidam is Takram and Nirjalam is Gholam. Ardhodagam Udashvid Madhidam Saravarjidam. So these sort of preparations can be seen according to the texture, the thickness, the quantity of water added, whether water is added or not. All these things are going to be the criteria here. Takram Lekhu Kashayamlam Deepanam Kabhavadajit. Then in the next two lines, we find certain clinical conditions. Some of them are diseases, some of them are certain avasthas. Shobhodararsho Grahanidosha Mutragraha Ruji Pliha Gulma Khridavyapad Gara Pandu Amayan Jayed. Jayed. So this can be used to treat or to manage certain conditions. They are Shobham, Udaram, Arshas, Grahani Dosham, Mutragraham, Aruji, Pliha, Gulma, Kridavyavad, Garam, Panduamayam. In all these situations, Takram is advised as a good remedy. So some of them are Vyadhis as such. Regarding the Grahani, the word used is Grahani Dosham. So Takram is relevant in the context of Grahani as something which can strengthen the Grahani. That also we will come later regarding the application of Takram in all these things. Then Mutragraham or somewhat Mutrakruchram also. Aruji. Aruji is very important. Aruji, in certain textbooks we can see that Amadisare cha Vishujigayam Vadajware Pandushu Kamalayam Prameha Gulmodara Vadashule Nityam Pibet Takram Arojakecha. So these two lines are also highly reflective of the utility of Takram. Amadisare cha Vishujikayam Vadajware Pandushu Kamalayam. Vadajware Pandushu Kamalayam Prameha Gulmodara Vadashule Nityam Pibet Takram Arojagecha. So we find a beautiful list of conditions where Takram can be used. So this Aruji, then Pliha Gulma Kridavyapat, again very important point. That also we will come to later. Kridavyapat Garam. So Takram is Garaharam. So there can be, Garam is a type of visham. Many a times it is deliberately added in the foodstuffs or in some other ways for some specific purposes, sometimes to cheat somebody, to conquer somebody, many purposes. This Takram can be a Garahara Dravyam. Garahara. So the custom of using Takram at the end of a meal can be beneficial to neutralize the garam if some way or the other it is mixed with the food. Garaharam. Then Panduamayam, Pandurogam. That also Jayed. Fine. Takram, these days the making of Takram is becoming very rare. Everybody is using the dhi only. We have discussed it, I think, in our last session. Actually, Takram is churned the dhi. And there are many types of preparations. We saw some of them. Churned without adding any water, churned with the water added, maybe half the quantity of the ghee, water is added. That is one way of doing it. I think Sushruta gives it as such. Mandhanad yad pradhak bhuta sneham ardhodagam chayad nadi sandradravam takram. Nadi sandradravam takram. So that ardhodagam, that is one way of making takram. Then sometimes it is churned and the butter is removed completely. It is extracted completely. Sometimes the churning will not go to that extent. some amount of churning will be done, but the butter will not be extracted. So like that, you can have many types of takram. One of our very legendary authors, as far as the Malayalam commentaries, even though it is done very, very limited to very few chapters of Sutrasthanam, one author called Vaidya V.M. Kuttikrishna Menon has made a beautiful collection of all available literature regarding this Dravadravya's. Not only Dravadravya, Annaswarupa also. He wrote one commentary for the first 8 chapters of Sutrasthanam, Ashtanga Hridayam. The commentary's name is Ranjini, and one can find a very exhaustive list of information, collection of information from all available sources. I have taken very liberally from his commentary while talking to you. What is shown in as the Takra Guna, according to Vriddha Vaidyas, that means this Takram Lekhu Kashayam Lam Deepanam Kabhavadajit Shobhodarsho Grahani Mutra Graha Ruji, all these things is of that Takra which is made out of Dadhi, adding half the quantity of water, adding half quantity of water to the Dadhi, and then churned to extract the butter completely. So this is a Ruksha Drava. Takram is Ruksha. So the properties which we find as Takram is beneficial in many clinical conditions as listed here, it is for that Ruksha Takram. That is the opinion of Vriddha Vaidyas. You cannot expect the same thing for all types of takras. According to the bulk or quantity of butter removed from the takram, we can find many types, or at least a few types, 3 types in general of takram. It is told like this. It is also important because takram is a very powerful tool as far as a practicing Vaidya is concerned. So all this information are very essential. Samuthrida Kridam Takram, that is one type. Samuthrida Kridam Takram, extracted completely. Ardhodhrida Kridam Chayad. Ardhodhrida, the butter is removed. Ardhodhrida, half of the that butter is extracted. And the third type is Anudhrida Kridam Takram, churned for some time, but no butter is extracted. Ityevam Trividham Smrudam. Takram is of 3 types like this. Samudhrida Kridam Takram, Ardhodhrida Kridam Chayad, Anudhrida Kridam Takram. Ityevam Trividham Smrudam. And the properties are quite different. We can find the properties of these 3 types of takram in the Nikhandus, especially in Bhava Prakasham. It is told like this: Samudhrida Kridam Takram Pathyam Laghu Visheshataha. So when you take that butter completely, it becomes much laghu. Samudhrida Kridam Takram Pathyam. It is Pathyam also. Pathyam in the sense good for daily use. I think that is sufficient. That is the reflected meaning here. Pathyam Laghu Visheshataha. Stogodhrida Kridam. If maybe a certain percentage of this kridam, butter here, is extracted, Guru Vrishyam Kabhavaham. It is Guru Vrishyam kabhapaham. If no butter is extracted, then what happens? Anudhrida kridam sandram guru pushti kabhapradam. Pushti kabhapradam. This pushti pradam, bulking, and kabhapradam increases the kabha. Anudhrida kridam sandram guru pushti kabhapradam. So there is a somewhat a reasonably good range of changes depending upon the quantity of butter extracted from the dahi. The takra formed will be different in quality. Going through the Ayurvedic literature, especially our Chikitsa Sthanam, we can see that takram is extolled very liberally. In our literature, takram can be seen extolled. It is like this sometimes. Na takras eva vyadhade kadajit. Takras eva kadajit na vyadhade. It's never become an adverse thing to have takram. Na takradagdha prabhavanti rogaha. If you heal a vyadhi, a rogam, using takram, they will never come again. Yatha asuranam amridam sukhaya tadha naranam bhuvi takramahuhu. Takram is like amritam for the devas in the earth. Takram is so for the naranam, human beings. Yatha suranam amridam sukhaya, yatha suranam amridam sukhaya tadha naranam bhuvi takramahuhu. Still, takra should be understood as having some sort of specificity in use. When we go through these explanations, we feel that takra can be used offhand in all conditions. It is not so. It has got some specificity in its use. The dosha status is very important. Takram lekhu kashaya amlam deepanam kabhavadajit. It is kabhavadajit. And the peculiar properties explained. That means the lekhu, kashayamlam. All these things are very important. It is ruksham. They are all to be kept in mind while advising or prescribing takram to somebody. The first line, that means the takram, lekhu, kashayamlam, is reflective of all these properties very specific to takra. That is to be considered as a standard. Takra has different actions in different areas. You all may be remembering the very popular line, takramamam kabham koshthe handi kandhe karodicha. Amam takram, fresh buttermilk, uncooked, that can reduce the kabham in the koshtam, but that will increase kabham in kandham. Takramamam kabham koshthe handi kandhe karodicha. So depending on that different desha in the annavahasrodhas and koshtam, they reflect different types of influences. So that is to be taken into consideration. That is why this ama takram is not advised in pinasa or shwasa or kasa. Pinasa shwasa kaseshu pakvameva prayujyade. So takram, if used in pinasam, shwasam, kasam, etc., it should be used pakvam. Pakvam. In Malayalam, we call it as moru kachuga, kachiya more, or sometimes we make some sort of a curry like stuff out of it called pulisheri. We find this reference also. It is not a very local dish or local recipe. In Ashtanga Hridayam Jwara Chikitsa, you can find the way of making or the advice to use this so-called Pulisheri. Anamla takra siddhani ruchyani vyanjanani cha achani anala sambannani. In Jwara Chikitsa, you can find. Make vyanjanam. Vyanjanam is some sort of a curry which you add to the meal. So, anamla takra siddhani ruchyani ruchikarani vyanjanani achani anala sambannani. So we find that sort of preparations as a pathyahara advised in Chikitsa. Then takram is contraindicated in certain situations. I do not know whether we mentioned this in the last session also. Generally, takram is contraindicated in pitta predominant conditions. Naiva takram kshade dadyad. It's very important. Naiva takram kshade dadyad. Ushnakale na dadyad. Na durbale. When the person is having a compromised balam, don't give takram. Na murcha brahmadaheshu na dadyad, na takram dadyad. Na roge rakta paitige. In rakta pitta predominant conditions, don't give takram. Na roge rakta paitige. But at the same time, in certain disease conditions, takram can be seen prescribed very liberally and almost unconditionally. We feel that it is an unconditional prescription, even though it is not so. It creates a feeling that takram can be used unconditionally in such conditions. We have to be very, very careful about it. There also some specifications can be seen imposed. Take the case of grahani, for example. We find that it is good in grahani. Shobhodararsho grahani dosham utragraha ruji. That is what we saw in our sloga in Ashtanga Hridaya. In grahani, we find that grahani doshinam takram divanagrahi lakhavad pathyam. So again here pathyam means it can be used at any cost. Nothing to worry about. You just use it in grahani. Grahani doshinam takram pathyam. Why? Divanagrahi laghavad. Divanagrahi laghavad pathyam. It's a very general statement. But the usage of takra in grahani should be according to the dosha vikalpa. The type of takra that you are going to use in grahani should be made in very specific ways. Say, for example, we find further that madhurapagitvad na pitta pradushanam. Madhurapagitvad takram, as it is having madhura vipagam, it will not worsen the status of pitta. Madhurapagitvad na cha pitta pradushanam. So if the takram that you are using is very amlam and its vipaga is also going to be amlam, don't expect that takram to be very good in pitta grahani. It is true that grahani doshinam takram is excellent pathyam, but in pitta prakriti, sorry, in pitta grahani, you have to make sure that the takram is used when it is not very amlam. Maybe in the very sadhyastam, immediately after making it, when that kashaya anurasada is predominating, and you expect a madhura vipagam, then good, you can use takram. Otherwise, it can be counterproductive, no doubt. Then again, kashayoshna vigashitvad rukshatvacha kabhehitam. Kashayoshna vigashitvad rukshatvacha kabhehitam. We have seen earlier that there are preparations of takram. like Anudhrita Sneha Takram. That Anudhrita Sneha Takram is not Ruksham. Anudhrita Ghridam Sandram Guru Pushtikabha Pradam. That is what we saw. So it is Kabha Karam, Kabha Vrittikrit. So that Takram you cannot use in Kabha Grahani, Kabhaja Grahani. So you have to make Takram in such a way that all the butter is extracted fully and the Takram is made Ruksham. Then only you can, and still it should not be Amlam. It should have the Kashaya Rasa predominating, because when the Amlada comes, its Ushna Viryam also increases. And that can cause Kabha Vilayanam and practically Kabha Vritti. So it will not be good in Kabham. Then coming to Vadagrahani, Vade Swadu Amla Sandratvad. Swadu Amla Sandratvam is the reason for Takram being good in Vadiga Grahani. So in Vadiga Grahani, when you use this Takram, it should be of that sort. It can have some Sandrada. So some Sneham, some Kritam can be left over in it. It need not be fully extracted. Then it may be a better option, Vadiga Grahani. So what I mean is, even though Takram can be seen as an outright prescription in many conditions, it need not be so in a finer evaluation or assessment. That is very important. But at the same time, there are certain situations, certain clinical conditions where Takram can be seen, used unconditionally itself. Say, for example, in Arshas Chikilsa, in Arshoroga Chikilsa, we can find many usages of this Takram. The chapter, I think in one of the concluding slogas, we find that, okay, in Sarveshu Sarvartushu Kalasheyam Arshasu. Sarveshu Arshasu, in all types of Arshas, you may use Kalasheyam. Kalasheyam is Takram. Sarvartushu, in Arshas, in all Ritus, you may use Kalasheyam. It is Balyam and Malapaham cha. Sarveshu Sarvartushu Kalasheyam Arshasu Balyam cha Malapaham cha. So in Arshas, when compared with Grahani, the usage of Takram can be seen more liberal and more unconditional. Of course, that Sneha content should be taken seriously in the context of Arshas as well. It is very specifically, this is one situation where we can find this Takram is divided based on the texture of the content of the Sneha in it. Ruksham ardhodhrida sneham yacha anudhridam kridam takram. So three types: Ruksham Takram, Ardhodhrida Sneham Takram, Yacha Anudhrida Kritam Takram. Three types that we saw earlier. Doshagni Balavid Trividham Tat Prayojayed. You may use the three types of Takram according to the Doshagni Balavit, Doshavit, Agnivit, and Balavit. The Vaidya who has got some grip over the assessment of dosha, assessment of bala, assessment of agni, may use these three types of takra appropriately. That is what we find in Arshas Chikitsa. And in many situations of Arshas, we can find the mentioning of takra with high priority. Very interesting. At one point, we find the takra is glorified in such a way that creates a feeling that this is going to be the panacea for almost all conditions of this anorectal area. Na virohanti gudajaha punastakra samahataha. Na virohanti gudajaha punaha. Gudajaha punaha na virohanti. What sort of gudajaha? Takra samahataha gudajaha. If you have healed them with takram, they will never relapse. They will never recur. And one example is given. Nishittam tadhi dahadi bhumavapi trunolupam. Nishittam tadhi dahadi bhumavapi trunolupam. If you pour this takra to the bhumi, that dense collection of the grasses there, which are very tough even otherwise, will be burnt off literally by the Vaidya of this takra. Then what about these tender arshas? There is no question of them relapsing. Na virohanti gudajaha punastakra samahadaha nishiktam tadhi dahadi bhumavapi trunolupam. And the Srodashuddhikara property of takra also can be seen explained with some sort of even little bit of exaggeration. I won't say that it is exaggeration, but it looks like an exaggeration. It is like this. Srodassu takra shuddheshu raso dhadu nubaiti yah tena pushtihi balam varnaha param tushtischa jayate. Takra shuddheshu srodassu takra shuddheshu. When this srotas in the sharira, especially all sorts of dhaduvah srotas, including or mainly or predominantly rasavah srotas, is takra shuddha. All the rasavah srotas are takra shuddha. Takra shuddha means shuddha by the proper usage of takra. Then when the rasavah srotas is fully functional, the propagation, I mean the spread of rasadhadu all through the sharira is very free. It is unhindered. So when such rasavahasrotas is there, the rasadhadu which is going to spread all over, and subsequently when all the other dhadus are formed, what is going to happen? Tena pushtihi, nourishment, balam, varnaha, param tushtischa jayate. Tushti is santushti. And vadashleshma vikaranam shatam cha vinivartate. Vadashleshma vikaranam shatam cha vinivartate. Vada has got 80 diseases and Shleshma has got 20 diseases altogether. Shatam, 100 diseases. All these 100 diseases that can happen in a computational exercise, all of them can be contained effectively by the usage of takra. Looks like an exaggeration, but the potential is hidden. Take it as an example, take it as a metaphor, doesn't matter. But a judicious application, there is a space for a judicial application of takra, seeing or lying hidden between these lines. Takra is very ruksha, and the dravya which is very ruksha is offered to provide you with pushti, balam, varnam and param tushti, which is actually the outcome of a proper rasayana chikitsa. So a ruksha dravyam which is against the structure of sneha is advised here, or is offered as to give rasayana gunas. This is an indication of another aspect of rasayana. That means as long as the rasayana Rasavaha Srotas are good, Shuddha, and the Agni is excellent, and you have sufficient supply of food. That itself is a sufficient or more than sufficient reason to make the system in a Rasayana mode. Srodasu takrashuddheshu raso dhadunupaidiyaha tena pushti balam varnaha param tushtischa jayate vadashleshma vigaranam shadam cha vinivartate. Ashtangradayam Arshas Chikilsika. Then in Arshas, one point we will find an excellent usage of takram, which is anulomana in Arshoruka. Pathyam takrena vasaha. Pathya abhaya. Crush the abhaya and put it in takra overnight. Next day morning, strain it and take the takra portion and drink it early morning. That will give you excellent anulomana. And obviously it will be having many other properties which are unique to this particular combination, and this will suit perfectly like a hand and glove in the context of Arshas. Bhiktva vibandhan anulomanaya yanmarudasya agnibalaya cha tadannapanaushadham arshasebhyo sevyam. So this is becoming a perfect stuff for that. Pathyam takrena vasaha. Our old Vaidyas used to prescribe this, especially for the Grahani and this Krura Koshtada, all the Agnimandyam, all these things in children, and it had got it was having a name in Malayalam called Kadukkamore. And this Kadukkamore preparation is also from the classics. They are not local usages. It's an excellent Anulomana Aushadha in Arshas, Grahani, and whatever is there. Pathyam takrena vasaha. Then we have seen that takram is explained as the best option in Shushkarshas or Ardrarshas. In Shushka, actually it is considered, Bhalladagam is considered as the best. In Ardra, Kudajattuk is considered as the best, Agriyam. In all types of Arshas, Sarveshu, Sarvartushu, Kalaseyam. In Arshas, in all conditions, takram is supposed to be the best prescription. In all the clinical conditions mentioned in Takra Varnana, that means that Shobhodar, Arsho, Grahani, Dosham, Uttragraha, Ruji, all these conditions, Pliha, Gulma, Kridavyabat, you go to the corresponding portions in the text, in the Chigilsa Sthanam or wherever it is, you can find the usage of Takram in many, many ways. In many clinical conditions, Takram is used as an excellent vehicle. That is another way of using Takram. For example, in Gulma Chikilsa, these lines should not be missed ever. The line is like this: Koladadima gharmambu takramadya amla kanjigaihi mandena va pibel pradaha churnani annasya va puraha. This is a universal advice actually, as far as the Samprapti of Gulmam is concerned. When we are focusing on the Agni, the list of Dravadраvyas given here, that means Koladadima Gharmambu, Takram, Madhyam, Amlakanchikam, Mandena va Pibel, Pradaha Churnani, Annasya va Puraha. In the Pradaha, that means that without any food, or Annasya va Puraha, like Bhaktam. So these sort of usages. So one among the Dravadраvyas listed here is Takram, and generally we find a lot of Churna Kalpanas in Gulma Chikilsa, like maybe Ashtachurnam or our Hingu Achadi or Narayana Churnam. Many other Churna Kalpanas we can find in Gulma Chikilsidam, and all these things can be very effectively administered, considering or taking takram as a vehicle. Then another situation what we find here is udaram. In Ashtanga Hridayam, all textbooks, Udara Chikitsidam, we find the specific usages of takram according to the type of udaram. And one important observation in Udara Chikitsidam, again, that is not limited to the context of udaram. The line is like this: Gauravarochaganaha mandavanyadisarinam takram vadakabhartanam amrudatvaya kalpade. It should be written in golden letters in the consultation rooms. Takram amrudatvaya kalpade, where vadakabhartanam, and the conditions. You see, you note these lines. Gauravarochaganaha mandavanyadisarinam gauravarochaka anaha mandavanyhi adisarinam takram vadakabhartanam amrudatvaya kalpade. Amrudatvaya kalpade. So very, very important observation documented in Udara Chikitsidam. And according to the type of udaram, we can find different usages of takram as well. Say, for example, general advice is like this: Natyacha sandra madhuram takram pane prashasyade. It should not be very acham or very sandra. Natyacha sandra madhuram takram pane prashasyade. This sort of takram can be given in as panam in udaram. Then, according to the dosha, sakanalavanam vade. In vadodaram, it should be given adding kana and lavanam. Kana lavanam, sakana lavanam vade, pitte soshana sharkaram. Pitte soshana sharkaram. Yavani saindhavajaji madhuvyosaihi kabhodare. Yavani saindhavajaji madhuvyosaihi kabhodare. Triushanakshara lavanaihi samyudam nijayodare sannivadodare. Triushanakshara lavanaihi samyudam nijayodare. Then madhutaila vajashundhi Shadahva Kushta Saindhavaihi Plinhi. Plinhi means plihodare. That can be used in Yagradali Udara as well. Madhutaila Vajashundhi Shadahva Kushta Saindhavaihi Plinhi. Baddhedu. That means in Baddhodaram Hapusha Yavani Pattvajajibhihi. Then Sakrishnamaakshigam Chidre. Chidrodaram Sakrishnamaakshigam. In Salilodare, that means in Jalodare, Vyoshavad Salilodare. Vyoshavad, adding Vyosham. So I don't think that such diverse use of a single dravya, it is very difficult to see somewhere else, as in the case of takram. So all these points are to be kept always in mind, and while prescribing some churnam, some prescribing some pathyaharam, some selecting some vehicle for some preparations, some anupanam, all these times these concepts are to be absorbed and utilized to their full potential. Fine. Then one important point what we mentioned earlier is Kridavyapat. Kridavyapat. That is a very, very important in our day-to-day practice these days, because there are many clinical situations that a normal or a standard practitioner is facing in his daily day-to-day practice. The contemporary lifestyle, especially among the city dwellers, has made certain vikaras, certain vyadhis very common, which we call them as lifestyle diseases, fine, which are generally sandarpanotha. So takra has got very specific rukshana property, excellent sroda shuddhikara property, devana property, laghu, it has got kashayanurasam. So using all these things, takra is going to be an excellent option, tapping this sneha vyapat harana property, sneha vyapat nirharana property in the so-called lifestyle diseases like prameham or staulyam, hridrogam, yagrid vikaras. In all these conditions, takram can be made an excellent choice. Personally, I have used this takram in many ways, many ways, tapping this particular potential. And it is used in many other ways also. It is used as many times it is used for external applications. Everybody is familiar with takradhara. Last year we had one case of a very huge sleepadam, a patient, a man from Malaysia, and along with the internal medicines, this case was treated with the takradhara all over the body. Generally, takradhara is done on the head end, but that case was treated with takradhara all over the body. And I think that case responded in a very beautiful way. That swelling in that sleepadam that reduced significantly, almost near to the normal. And we have experiences in our hospital of doing takravasti in many cases, takravasti. Then altogether, I think if we take this takram from their specific clinical uses, in kushta chikilsidam you find nimbam haridre surasam padolam kushtasvadande suradaris, that nimbadi churna, it is advised to be prepared or pasted first with takram. Tais takrapistaihi pradhamam shariram tailaktam udvartaidum yateda. Then udvartana churnam first made or prepared with takrapeshanam, takrapishtam. So there are many situations. We can find many krita yogas prepared along with takram in it. So like this, we can talk about takram for hours together. But I think we have to stop somewhere, no? So I think I should stop celebrating takram here. And next line in the text is Tadvan mastu saram srodashodhi vishtam bhajit laghu. Tadvan mastu saram srodashodhi vishtam bhajit laghu. Mastu. It is the property of mastu is explained here. Tadvad mastu. Mastu is having same properties, similar properties as that of takram. Mastu is that watery portion of the curd, dahi. It is the watery portion of that curd. So tadvad means like takram. And to highlight certain properties, it is specifically mentioned like saram. It is saram. Then it is srodashodhi. Takram is srodashodhi. So that tadvad mastu accommodates that concept. But still takram, it is mastu is explained as srodashodhi because it is very fast to give this action of Srodashuddhi. Srodashodhi. Vishtambhajit, it is Vishtambhajit, and Laghu. Takram Laghu. So it is already told in Takra properties. So why a repetition here? It is Laghu. Maybe to show that this is more Lekhutaram than Takram. So Srodashodhi, Vishtambhajit, Laghu. All these things are highlighted properties of Mastu. As I mentioned earlier, you can find many more information in that Ranjini commentary. Unfortunately, it is in Malayalam. Sorry to the non-Malayali delegates here. That Ranjini commentary by V.M. Kutty Krishna Menon actually gives a very, very beautiful depiction of all this information which is gathered about Mastu. This Mastu is considered as a very tasty recipe as well. I do not know how far it is being used. I have tried it. It is a very tasty recipe as well. Some way of preparing this Mastu is also one particular stuff which is used very liberally while preparing this Krita Kalpanas, especially for Vikaras confined to the Grahani, Agni, Koshtam, Arshas, that sort of issues. So Mastu can be seen added as a Dravadravya in the preparation of Kritas. So in such cases, I find one interesting note how this Mastu is prepared. 2 prastas of milk and 2.5 prastas of water boiled together, and to which 2 kudubam of sour buttermilk is added when the stuff is hot. Don't allow it to cool. Then keep it closed properly sealed for 3 days. For 3 days. And on the 4th day, uncover it, take the that formed curd in it and filter it to get the desired quality Mastu. So this is the way in which Mastu is prepared by the Vriddha Vaidyas, especially for preparation of Krita Kalpana and other medicine. So that is all about a general idea about Mastu, but still I think Mastu can be used in many other ways as well. Sushruta can be seen explaining Mastu in detail. Trishna klamaharam mastu. Trishna klamaharam mastu. Laghu srodo visodhanam. Amlam kashayam madhuram. Avrishyam kabhavadanut. I will repeat. Trishna klamaharam mastu. Laghu srodo visodhanam. Amlam kashayam madhuram. Avrishyam kabhavadanut. Prahladanam preenanam cha. Bhinatyashu malam cha tad. That is an excellent property. I have tried this in especially in kids. I have tried this. Bhinatyashu malam chayad. Balam avahade chabi. Bhakta chandam karodi cha. It is good in arojaka. It is ruchikara. So bhakta chandam karodi cha. So for any clinician, there is a space for intelligent use of Mastu in his clinical practice. So that is all about Mastu here. Now Navanitam. Navanitam. Navanitam is the butter. Butter. Navanitam. Actually, it is Navam niyate anena iti Navanitam. That Navam reflects that it is freshly taken. So Navanitam is especially freshly extracted butter from Dadhi. But this Navanitam is used as a common name for all types of this butter, whether it is 1 day old, 2 day old, or 1 week old. In general, Navanitam is the word used, also called Hayangavinam. Fine. Navanita gunas are given as Navanidam navam vrishyam Shidam varna balagnikrit Sangrahi Vada pitta asrik Kshayarshordida kasajit. Navanidam navam vrishyam Shidam Balavarna agnikrit. Balavarna agnikrit. So this, due to this Balavarna agnikrit, it is very popular, or it was very popular in its usage in children, because for every child, I think these three properties or three outcomes are highly preferred. That means Bala, Varna, Agni. And interestingly, it is Lekhu also. It is Lekhu also. Navanitam Navam Vrishyam Shidam Varna Bala Agni Krit. Only disadvantage could be it is Sangrahi. Sangrahi. Then, in certain conditions, Vada Pitta Asruk, Vada Pitta Rekta, Kshayam, Arshas, Ardidam, Kasam. In all these conditions, Navanidam can be prescribed. Sometimes independently, sometimes with some other medicine. I think in Vada Pitta we use in Asruk, especially in conditions of this bleeding conditions. It is very good to use Navanidam. We generally use it for this Rakta Pradaram. In such conditions, we use this Navanidam very liberally. Kshayam, it is Kshayaharam, very good in Kshayam. There are some preparations using this Navanidam, covering this our lemon with this Navanidam and keep it in water for certain days. Then after that completion of the period, take out that Navanidam alone, leaving behind the lemon. And this Navanidam is used as a Kshayahara Dravyam, Kshayahara Bhakshanam in children. Arshas, especially in where there is tendency of bleeding, it is very good. Ardidam, for local application, this Navanida Khandam is used. And Kasajit, in Kasam also, especially in Rakta, Vada, Pitta, Anubandha, that means it is Kshatakasa. It is very excellent. So, Navanidam is having all these properties, but when it is getting old, I think its properties change. We can find both these things explained in some Nikhandu. Say, for example, if we quote from Bhava Prakasham, the standard properties of Navanidam, literally Navanidam, fresh, Vrishyam Balyam Adhisniktham Madhuram Grahi Shitalam. So it is Adhisniktham. Adhisniktham may be the extreme level of Snigdhada that we can expect from a Dravya, that we can get in Navanidam. Then, so Vrishyam Balyam Adhisniktham Madhuram Grahi Shitalam Navanidam. Then, this is a general statement. Then adding to it Sadyastam, fresh, right immediately after the extraction, it is Swadugrahi Himam Laghu. It is Swadugrahi Himam Laghu. See, it is Laghu. Generally, this Navanidam extracted from the dhi should be washed multiple times in good fresh water to remove that certain parts, certain amount of takram which is smeared over the Navanidam. Sometimes that takram part may not get removed properly. Then that will be adding some change in the characteristics, in the properties of the Navanidam, which is observed like this. Kinjit kashayamlam. It changes its taste a little bit. it is expected to be Madhuram, but when this takram is there, it becomes a little bit of Kinjit Kashayamlam. Takramsha Sankramad. That Takramsha Sankramad. Sadyastam Navanidam is having some element of Amla Kashaya Rasada. But it should be washed repeatedly. And when this Navanidam is washed more and more in fresh, cool water, its Shida Viryam also increases and it becomes more and more effective in Rakta Stambhanam, either by external application or by internal application. This same Navanidam, when stands for longer, when kept for longer days, it becomes of a different type in terms of its qualities. Sakshara Kadugamlatwad, Sakshara Kadugamlatwad, Chardyarsha Kushtakaragam, Chardyarsha Kushtakaragam, Sleshmalam, Guru Medasyam, Navanidam Chirandanam. So when Navanidam is kept for longer periods, it changes its properties completely. It becomes the reason for kushtam, arshas, and all these things. Otherwise, it was good for arshas, but now it is causing arshas. It was good for chardi, but now it is going to cause chardi because of its aruji or whatever it is. Sakshara kadugamlatvam. Then and it becomes guru also. It becomes guru also. So it is no more good for human consumption. So this sort of changes happens when it is kept for longer days. So that is about Navanidam. And generally this Navanidam, as we saw, is taken by extracting from the Amla Dathi. So it is some sort of a pagam which is happening. It is a pagam. Maybe explained in terms of the nanoparticle size and everything in a modern laboratory. But we have seen it in terms of its Rasaguna, Virya, and Vipaga types of properties. Now, when this Navanidam is extracted from Kshiram without making the Dathi, so either Amakshiram or Srudakshiram, it is becoming a different Dravya. It is known as Kshirodbhava Navanidam. Kshirodbhava Navanidam. That Kshirodbhava Navanidam is Sangrahi. The other one is also Sangrahi, but this is more Sangrahi. Kshirodbhavantu Sangrahi, and its Rakta Pitta Shamanatvam is more. Rakta Pitta Shamanatvam is more, and good in Akshiroga. Rakta Pitta Akshirogajit. Kshirodbhavantu Sangrahi, Rakta Pitta Akshirogajit. So if you plan to prepare some Kritam for Tarpanam exclusively, then you first make Kshirodbhava Navanidam, then make ghee out of it, and then process it with the required medicines, and it will be a better option for doing Tarpana, because it has got a specific affinity towards the Akshiroga. So that is all about Kshirodbhava Navanidam. So with this, I think we will stop today's session. The remaining portion, remaining starts with the explanation of Kritam, which we will find in our next session. Okay, Nilesh?
Yeah, yes, sir, definitely. I think today we all had a very nice treat about Takra and Navneet.
Takra Navneeta Sadhya.
Yes, sir. Such a vast explanation of Takra and Navneet. I won't find it anywhere else.
Takram is very important. Takram is very, very important as far as Vaidya is concerned.
Yes, sir, definitely. And we are also using it here as Anupan in various conditions, clinical conditions also.
Yes,
and
yes.
Also, I personally use Navneet in this Sravya Arsha, Anupan. Chanuk Churna, Nakeshar Churna, like that. Navneet and Sharkara.
Okay.
and this brother also, as you told.
Mm.
And in Ardit patient also, I use this Navneet Anupan, and I
Mm.
get excellent results in all these conditions.
Very good. Somebody else can share something from their experience also, isn't it?
Yes, if anybody wants to add, please.
And Nilesh, you may continue. Your sharing of experience. There may be many things.
Yes, sir. And this Takra also, as
Mm.
you mentioned that all the Vyadhis which are listed in this Takra, in all those conditions, we advise patients to consume Takra in their daily food
Mm.
with certain like Jeerak or Ajmoda,
Mm.
Pipli,
Mm. Mm.
Saindav, like that. And we get good results by using those things also,
Mm. 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 Very good.
especially in Udar and Arsha patients,
Mm.
and also in Grahani.
Mm.
Takrarishta also is available ready-made,
Mm.
uh,
Mm.
which we use here very frequently.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
Both the Takrarishtas are available for Grahani and Arsha.
Archers. Mm.
Yes, yes. That also we are using. Uh,
Hello,
Charu is. Ah, yes, yes.
sir. Question. Who's it? Can I ask?
Please.
My question is: at home, we make ghee by the method of collecting uh, skim milk and pouring uh, dahi, dahi.
Uh,
So
uh,
for that preparation, and then we make navneet, and from that we make ghee. If that
uh,
navneet we keep for more days,
uh.
and from that if we make ghee, then is there a difference in quality of ghee?
Can you just repeat the last point?
As we for one week we keep that skim milk, and from that we make navneet and made a ghee. If
Mm.
we keep this for 15 days or more than 15 days and prepare from that ghee, then is
Mm.
there a difference in quality of ghee?
Yes, the ghee which you prepare from that butter which is extracted from the ghee, and the ghee which you prepare from that milk skin collected together and then making it into the ghee, they are different in their quality. Especially, we can discuss it in the next session, no doubt, because this ghee, when it is prepared in its classical way of that curdling the milk first, then making the ghee, then churning it properly and extract all that butter and then boil it to heat it to make the ghee, then that ghee has gone through another level of pagam or parinamam, which makes that sneha more sukshma gunayukta and laghu as well. So when you discuss the qualities of ghee, you will find that it is very good for excellent for this medha, dhi, smriti, all these things, for which of course that it is a prabhava of ghee, but to give that peculiar quality, the sukshma guna along with the sneha guna is contributing significantly. So that may be lacking in this type of ghee preparation. So for common use as food and everything, this ghee is fine, no issue. But when you make medicines out of it, Especially, say for example, if you make Brahmi Ghritam or Brahmi Ghritam with this, or Mahakalyanaka Ghritam with this Ghritam, you cannot expect to have all the properties explained in the textbook, because most of the outcomes we are expecting from the usage of Brahmi Ghritam or Mahakalyanaka Ghritam is also because of its Sukshma Guna along with the medicinal contents that you cannot expect in the when you prepare the ghee from that milk skin directly. Am I clear?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Sir, Prasad
Yes.
sir,
Yes, I can hear.
few questions here.
Ah.
Please elaborate on quantity of takar to be used with respective of prescribing it as an ahar dravya, aushadhi dravya, or anupan.
Okay, I think you need not follow any hard and fast rules for that, especially when you're using it as ahara. The best option is to have it made every day. Previously, I still remember that the elderly people at home, they will be their first duty or first job in the early in the morning will be to churn the ghee and to make the buttermilk for that particular day's use. So that will be avidahi. That takram will be avidahi, which is excellent for day-to-day use. When it stands for more days, it becomes very sour and vidahi also. For treatment purposes, for many times we may require amla takram. For daily use in as ahara, it is not very good unless it is medically advised. So that is the way in which it is used. And if that sadhyastam, freshly prepared takram is used, even if little bit liberally along with the rice or wheat or whichever recipe or whichever staple you take, there is no harm in it. But we should remember the particular situations where this takra was contraindicated. Amla takram, it is not, even though we may think that okay, it's a good see this panam, but in extreme summer, a concentrated buttermilk need not be very good for everyone, especially if you have got a pitta predominance in your prakriti, or you are already suffering with some bleeding disorders or so. It need not be good to consume liberal amounts of takram as ahara. Then there are some specific situations. For example, I use this takram as a preparatory procedure in Snehapanam to bring in Rukshana, especially in cases who are Snehasapnya and somebody who is Sthula, or somebody who is having a Sravi type of Kushta. In such cases, we use Takrapanam as a preparatory procedure, as a Purva Karma. In such cases, what we do is we take 1 liter of takram, add maybe 500 ml of water, then add this sundhi, then our kalashagam and haridra, then boil it to reduce it to 1 liter. That 500 ml of water will be boiled off, and this 1 liter of takram will be given in split quantities through the day, from morning till evening or from breakfast to dinner. Frequently, need not be during the meal times. Frequently, this 1 liter will be completed, and this will be continued for 3 days as a standard, sometimes 4 days, or sometimes more, sometimes less, like 2 days only. We will be observing the patient. So this is a particular type of takrapanam which will prepare the body to be to be more receptive of the next stage of snehana. Like Shamana Sneham. If you are planning a Shamana Sneham in a particular Kushtam, or even Shodhananga Sneham, a mild Rukshana with this sort of Takrapanam can be beneficial. So in that case, sometimes recently we found one person, one of our colleagues itself, got some sort of a Murcha type of problem even on the third day of this Takrapanam. So that also should not happen. So you should have some understanding about the Agni, the dosha predominance and everything of the individual, and comfortably 1 liter a day to 3 days is not making any problem. So this is an overall about, and in Anupan and everything, I think maybe if you are giving 5 grams of a powder of maybe Ashtachurnam or Hingu Ajadi Churna, maybe half glass of that means 100 ml of Takram is more than sufficient for a nose. So this is what we do as a standard, somewhat like a matraya no vyavasthasti. So you can decide. There is no any hard and fast vyavastha for this dosage of takra as anupana. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I think with this we can conclude our today's session, sir.
Yeah. Yes, it's already 16 minutes extra overtime.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Shubharatri to all of you.
Shubharatri, sir.